Thank you so much, Ewan. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat as we dive into an incredible sporting weekend. Hugely successful weekend for South African sport to boot. Proteas returning to ODI action with a win against Ireland, albeit with South Africa's Brad Binder making Moto3 history. To review these triumphs and other talking points in sports over the weekend, we have the left-back sports blogger Juan Karstel with us in studio. Welcome to it, representing the left-backs this morning.
Thank you so much.
Early morning for a blogger, yeah?
Yeah, very early for a blogger.
And so much to process after the weekend.
Totally.
So many awesome reviews. Let's get into our cricket first. Yes, we know Ireland, not the toughest outfit there. They've got some incredible records behind their name. Big scoring team, but we really did dispatch.
Totally. And, you know, for me, the one thing that really stuck with me throughout the game was Bavuma, the class of him. He made 100 in one of his first test matches he played for us, and I made 100 in his ODI debut. And I think that that's really, really a phenomenal achievement, and I think that that's something that we should be really proud of.
A lot of people talking about the older players in the squad and how old is too old.
Yeah.
It's all about balance and having youngsters there that are performing with confidence. That's what you need ahead of an Australian inbound tour.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great that we gave a lot of youngsters opportunities to play this game. I think it really was a good opportunity. You know, there is kind of another side of the argument, though, is like, should have we maybe have let Hash play? Yeah. You know, get him score 100. Like get him on a bit of a streak again of Australia, you know, but those are the kinds of decisions that the coaches have to make, and I think they made the right one.
Yeah, and great to give an associate side like Ireland the opportunity ahead of a big test like this. And I think a lot of pressure on Australia moving forward, but we'll get into that at the end of the week. Right now, though, I think probably the biggest reason to celebrate, Brad Binder making MotoGP history, winning the Moto3 title.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always great to come to work on a Monday after South Africa has done really well. You know, it kind of puts a bit of a spring in all of our steps, and I think that's what's great about being South African. You know, Brad Binder, I think it was in early April or March, he won a race after being penalised and starting last. And I think, and I think since then he's really been a force to reckon with, and it's really going to be interesting to see what happens next year in the Moto2.
And he's a lovely guy as well. He really does deserve it. Currie Cup, clearly the Springboks being drafted back into our sides, making all the difference, but nothing slowing the Cheetahs down. They've booked their semi-final spot.
I know, it's really quite interesting to see, because the Cheetahs are now undefeated and cruising to the final, whereas you've got somebody like the Lions who did so phenomenally well in the Super Rugby. Very similar players, to be fair, and they can't seem to make it. And even Province struggling to make it. Crick was doing okay. So yeah, it's quite an interesting picture at the moment.
I love the fact that there is so much emphasis on the Currie Cup, traditionally one of the biggest competitions in the world, actually, when it comes to this kind of level of rugby. But we're going to watch that very closely. Then, so much happening in the world of football. We know that Sundowns have booked their spot in the finals. A fantastic performance, going to make history there. But we have to, I think, most notably, 4-1. Man United coming right. Paul Pogba coming right with the man of the match performance against Leicester, our defending champs. They looked rather mundane, actually.
Yeah, they did. They really did. And I think what was really interesting for me about the game is the fact that they dropped Wayne Rooney. I think, you know, a month overdue. You know, we've got this teenage sensation in the team who's really scoring goals, getting assists, and I think he's the future. So maybe it's time, similar to your points earlier about, you know, how old is too old. Maybe it's time for Rooney to maybe part ways with the club.
Oh, but that is a very difficult emotional decision to make as well. But clearly the players, the managers, everyone in top form is going to be an awesome season.
Oh, yes.
We could sit here for another 3 hours, my friend Juan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cool, no worries.
You will return, my brother. Now part of the Expresso Sporting Brains Trust. Awesome to get his perspective. Let us know on our Expresso Morning Show Facebook page. Where does your allegiance lie? What sporting performances are you most proud of? We got to give it to Brad Binder one last time. In fact, it's International Brad Binder Day.